Third party has been around for a while, and love it or hate it, it's here to stay for a while longer. This all started back in 2010-ish with upgrade kits for figures. I remember going to TFCon in 2011 and seeing them all over the place. But that year we also got something special. The first third-party figures. Fansproject was a big name back then and sold mostly upgrade kits at the time, but their first figure offerings were Bruticus Maximus upgrades. They basically just gave you Blast Off and Swindle brand new. This wasn't that original figure, but it's the same mold. This is Fansproject Warcry. This little guy is great, but it's starting to show its age. First, I want to make this clear so people know, because I didn't. This doesn't come with the upgrade parts for Bruticus. This is just a figure in the accessories. If you want the upgrade part components, you either have to buy the 2-pack or the original versions of these molds individually, because they came with the upgrade kit pieces, not the Causality, Warcry, and whatever the Blast Off's called. They just come with the weapons and accessories. This guy is around Revenge of the Fallen Scout size. It's a little shorter than a modern day deluxe, but scales well with Maximus. But as I said, it is starting to show its age. How is that, you might ask? Well, the ball joint in the foot has stress marks out of the box, so it falls off all the time. The weapon constantly falls apart because it's pushed itself out of its own metal pin. The backpack is super flimsy because it's starting to separate a little bit in the box because the glue was going. And the tolerances really need to be worked on. I do recommend cutting off the tabs on the arms completely off, because they do nothing but make the transformation hell. Oh, and because of this thing's age, the combiner port ratchet's gone too. As this is their first figure offering, and one of the first figures from third party in general, this came out at around the same time as the Mastermind Creations Hearts of Steel figures and those two Jumpstarter third party figures that I really want, whose names I never remember. They came out around that time, 2010, 2011-ish. And I think Fansproject did a really good job on this guy. I love it. The colors are really nice. The detail on this guy for what it is super nice as well. It's not super abundant, but as it is a small OG third-party figure, it's still nice what they include. You do get a lot more detail on figures that are bigger, such as the Mastermind Creations Seekers, for example. You get this gun thing that will fall apart if I try to configure it in any of its other configurations, so it's staying like this, but you can reconfigure it if it's not, broken. But you do get these two things that, as far as I know, don't go anywhere on the robot mode. Plastic isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst. It does stress kind of easy, so I would keep an eye on it. For the most part, it's pretty good. Just take your time with the joints and the tabs, and you should be okay. Posing it is a lot better than most modern Studio Series figures, which is funny. It's quite good, however, I do wish this guy had a stand port, but oh well. Transformation is fine. Just like I said, make sure you cut those tabs off on they end up being the lower doors on in car mode. Make sure you cut those off, because otherwise it just pushes the feet out of alignment and it's really annoying. They're supposed to hold the feet in better, but the two tabs on the roof do a pretty perfect job at that anyways. You don't need these two extras at the bottom. Jeep mode is really neat. I really like it. It's a small little car that just looks nice. All the bits have places to go on the Jeep, so it just elevates the look. You can put the two canisters on the back and the turret on the top with the shield, and it looks accurate. It looks cool. I don't know anything about military vehicles, but to me it looks accurate. It doesn't really scale well with anything from today, but it does look nice next to the Maximus set. I mean, it's not made to scale with anything, so it's not going to scale with anything today, so I wouldn't buy it for that purpose. But it does look nice next to Bruticus Maximus figures. Like, it's just a normal, ordinary, old military Jeep, but I really dig the alt mode. And it's cool. But how does it fare as a limb? Because this guy is an upgrade for Maximus, it can also become a limb for Bruticus Maximus, and it's not great. Considering the age has killed the ratchet inside this, the joint is just so floppy that I could barely get it to stand in this shot. And as an arm, it just doesn't really work. It's not the most stable thing in the world, which is unfortunate, but again, that's why I'd like to get the proper release with the upgrade kit parts so that I can maybe get a second one that's not, busted. In the end, yes, this was well worth the $25 I spent on it, and I'm happy with having one. Finding one of these or the shuttle guy is kind of hard right now. There are only a couple on eBay, but if you ever come across one for a decent price at like a convention or something, once they start to open back up, I cannot wait. I hope TFCon Toronto is running this December, and I hope this December the restrictions in Canada have lifted, because I really want to go. It's been like, what, 2.5 years since I've been to a convention. I'd like to go this year. But if you go to a convention, I would say pick one up. I definitely am going to look for these if TFCon reopens in December. It's a nice little piece of history, and I'm happy to own it. I'd say for the history alone, and at the $25 I paid for this on Big Bad Toy Store, not sponsored, I would definitely recommend picking this up. Just be careful of those things that I mentioned earlier. Anyways, that has been my look at Fansproject Warcry. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, linked below, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.